Yes, sir.
सेशन स्टार्ट करें. So, good morning to everyone. Now the day 3 session 7. I would invite to Aarti Viskarma ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. I'm Aarti Vishwakarma, Assistant Professor in Computer Science and Engineering from NCIT College, Glasgow. Now, today's speaker is Mr. Manish Mahant Manipuri, sir. Currently, he is working as Assistant Professor in Computer Science and Engineering from NCIT College, Glasgow. He has done MTech from RGPV College, RGPV College, Bhopal, in Computer Science and Engineering. He has done uh, he has done publications in summary art. He has published 8 journal papers and attended 5 international conferences. He has membership in ISTE, ISCA, IA, ISENG, and his area of interest is machine learning, artificial intelligence, neural network, and data science. Now, I would like to ask Mr. Manish Mahan sir for the wonderful session. Manish sir, over to you, sir.
Mm. Thank you, Aarti ma'am. Thank you so much. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me share my slide first. Okay, is screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. My name is Manish Man Manikpuri. I am an assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering in LCRT College. Uh, in today's session, we have a content in which I have divided the contents in two parts. Part A as states refresher and part B as tools. Okay, so in part A, we will see type of variable, type of regression, R squared, that is some type of statistical measurement to see whether our model is fit or not. Okay, in part B, we will look into the introduction to Gretel data set, import data and run descriptive statistics, reading linear regression model, plotting and analysis the graph. Okay, so let's start our part A of this session. So we have a variable here. Okay, so in actually in linear regression or any type of regression, our variable is divided into various types. Okay, so variable is divided into first type, which is called as categorical type. Okay, so categorical type is further divided into a nominal type. Okay, so example of nominal type is like this. Okay, the male, female. Okay, so one type of characteristic is put into one in one box, which is called as a male, and another type of attribute is put into another box, which is called as a female. Okay, so this is a categorical type. Okay, so in categorical type, it is a nominal type of variable, which is having an example like male and female. And we can also say that another type of categorical type is red, green, or black. Okay, so there is another type of categorical variable, which is called ordinal variable. Okay, so in ordinal variable, like we have example called grades. Okay, so grade like A, B, C. Okay, so what we are doing in here grade. Okay, so in if any student is getting more than a 90 percentage, okay, so we are defining it as a A grade. Okay, and if a student is having a number in between 80 to 90, then we are categorizing into B part. Okay, so and of course if we have a student which is having a less than 80 percentage, then we are categorizing into C. Okay, so what we are doing, we are further subcategorizing this nominal categorical to this ordinal one. Okay, so this is a ordinal type of variable. Okay, so another type of variable is called a numerical type of variable. So in numerical type of variable, we have a discrete type. Okay, so in discrete, Like here I have put an example, like 568 people. It means discrete means here is exact number what we are wanting. Okay, like we are saying, okay, there are 568 people are standing, so we are not saying okay 568.6, we are not saying, we are saying exact number. Okay, whether the number can be 568 or 567. Okay, we are saying exact number, we are not putting that number in between those two number. Okay, we are not putting this number to 568 to 569, we are not putting it. No, we are not putting that number in between these two number. Okay, so this is a discrete type of numerical variable. Another type of numerical variable is a continuous variable. Okay, so in continuous variable, like I have put an example like age. So age can be 6 or age can be 6.5 month, I think, है ना? So if I ask all the participant what is your age, so all will say okay my age is 31, my age is 28, my age is 21. They will say okay, but exact age is what? Exact age is like 21.5 month. Okay, or exact age is what? 21.8 months. So this type of number is this type of number is a continuous type of variable. Okay, so like here I have put an example like a height. So a height can be 173.5. Okay, if I ask all the participants what is your height, so they will say oh, my height is 158.8. Okay, my height is like 151.6. Okay, no one will say exact answer. I mean, this type of discrete answer no will say. No will say. Okay, so this is a type of variable which we are seeing here. So let's come in this slide. The meaning of we will see what is the meaning of regression. Okay, so regression in statistic, regression analysis is a statistical process for estimating the relationship among the variable. Okay, what is the meaning of this regression is there's something a relationship between the variable. Okay, and we will focus this relationship between the dependent variable and the independent variable. Okay, so I will define what is a dependent variable and what is independent variable. Okay, let's take an example. Like I have written here salary equal to I have here say experience. Okay, salary experience. Okay, so experience is a independent variable and this salary is a dependent variable. Okay, we can define this salary on the basis of the experience. Okay, if any company has lots of employee and employee salary has to be decided, so one factor is what? One factor is the experience. By experience we can say that his salary must be 30,000, his salary must be 50,000 or blah 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 type of things we can say. Okay, so this is a variable, and in this variable we are seeing here experience is an independent variable now. This is a independent variable. Okay, and salary is a dependent variable. Why salary is a dependent variable? Because value of experience decide the value of salary here. Okay, value of experience decide the value of salary here exactly. Okay, so this is a regression, and here in regression we do some analysis. Okay, we do some analysis here. Okay, in the regression we do some analysis, and which is called regression. Actually, when we do some type of analysis between any variable, okay, dependent variable, independent variable, or something like that, we call this regression actually. So meaning of regression, I think many you can understood what is the meaning of regression. Okay, so type of regression. Okay, so in type of regression we are having a linear type. So in linear type, further it is divided into two types. First one is simple linear regression, and second one is a multiple linear regression. And another type of regression is a logistic regression. This is further divided into two types. First one is a simple logistic regression, and another one is a multiple logistic regression. Okay, so here in this session we will focusing on this. Okay, simple linear regression and multiple linear regression. If time will be spent, then I will definitely teach you this logistic regression model. Okay, so we will see in this today's session, we will see here. Okay, simple linear regression model and multiple regression model with the help of various type of tools and with the help of various type of algorithm which we are having. Okay, so let's see what is the difference between linear and logistic regression. Okay, so linear regression is used to predict the continuous dependent variable using a given set of independent variable. Okay, so where we will use this regression model when we are predicting the continuous dependent variable. Okay, we have seen the dependent variable, and we have seen the salary as a dependent variable, and we have seen earlier experience as an independent variable. And what here we are saying, when we are predicting the continuous dependent variable, now when we are predicting this as, when we are predicting this as s is a dependent variable, what we have seen in earlier slide. Okay, so when we are predicting this dependent variable, and this dependent variable answer must be some continuous type of variable. Okay, so we use this linear regression model. Okay, we use this linear regression model. Okay, and what is logistic regression? When we are predicting the categorical dependent variable, okay, in a given set of independent variable. Okay, so when any dependent variable, suppose x is the dependent variable and y is independent variable, and x dependent variable is predicting this categorical type of variable. Okay, when our answer should come in a categorical type, then we use this logistic regression model. Okay, so hope you have understood what is a linear regression and logistic regression. Excuse me, all of you are audible. I mean to say that, am I audible to all of you now?
Yes,
And
sir, you're audible.
screen is
Yeah, yeah,
visible?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
it's
Yes,
visible.
sir.
Okay. So see here, I have put some example of logistic regression and linear regression. Here in this x, okay, this is x-axis and this is a y-axis. In y-axis, we have defined this value, this value which is equal to 0, and this value, this upper value is equal to 1. Okay, so here you can see there is a slope. Okay, there is a slope, and this slope is called linear regression model. Okay, this slope is called linear regression model. Okay, why we are saying it is a linear regression model? Because it, the predicting answer, okay, our predicting answer is what? Our predicting answer is this y. Okay, and it is a independent variable. Okay, this x is the independent variable. Okay, what we have seen earlier, and y is our dependent variable. Okay, y is our dependent variable. Okay, so when our dependent variable is having an answer in a continuous format, then we use this linear regression. Okay, so linear regression is having a slope like this. Okay, and this is a logistic regression model. Okay, so this curve what you are saying, this s curve what you are saying, is a logistic regression model. Okay, so let have 1 minute. See here, you can see the difference in between this linear regression, okay, linear regression and this logistic regression. Okay, you can see the difference. What is the difference here? When you look into this linear regression slope, this slope is exceeding that bar. Okay, see, we have a uppercase here, y is equal to 1, we have a lower case here, y equal to 0, but our linear regression chart, this slope is exceeding that particular maximum parameter, and it is also going to this minimum parameter. Okay, so this is a linear regression model. And logistic regression is what? Logistic regression is in constraint in between this value. Okay, you can see this curve, this curve is not exceeding. Okay, this curve is not exceeding actually, this curve is actually in between this value y is equal to 1 and y equal to 0. Okay, so let me define one more example. Suppose our answer is getting in a categorical type. Okay, categorical type. Okay, and this uppercase value I am putting is a male, and this lower case I am putting female. Okay, and our answer which is getting in this categorical type, okay, by putting some type of parameter, and it is defining that our output y is male or female, it is a male or female. Okay, so see, in logistic regression it is not exceeding to that graph. Okay, it is not exceeding, it is not exceeding to this parameter, it is not exceeding to parameter. Okay, if this logistic regression would come like this, suppose this logistic regression would come like this. Okay, and it is going to like this. Okay, so the parameter watch here, it is coming, what the parameter, what here it is coming, what you will say? You will say it is like a super male, or here we here would come, it will, you will say it like a super female. No, because of the attribute we have categorized this thing na, male and female, we cannot exceed that bar. Okay, so when we are having this categorical type na, so we use this logistic regression model, and when we are having this continuous type of the dependent variable, then we use linear regression model. I hope you have understood this linear regression and logistic regression. So let's see an example of linear regression, simple linear regression. So simple linear regression is actually y equal to b0 plus b1 into x1. Okay. So y is what? Y is a dependent variable, b is a constant, b1 is a coefficient, and x1 is an independent variable. Okay. So this is a simple linear regression mathematical model. Okay. So we can see here with the help of an example this particular simple linear regression, like here. Okay, I am using this particular example. Salary is equal to experience. Okay, salary is equal to experience. Okay, so this experience is a independent variable, and this salary is what? This is salary is a dependent variable. Okay, and some constant we will using here, some type of constant we will use here, and some type of coefficient will be used here. Okay, this is a constant and this is a coefficient we will use. Okay, so this is a simple linear regression mathematical model. Okay, with the help of this, when we will put some type of experience here, so salary will be decided. Okay, so this is a simple linear regression mathematical model. Hope you have all have understood. Okay. So what is a multiple linear regression model? So see, y is a dependent variable. Okay, b0 is a constant, b1 is a coefficient, x1 is an independent variable, x2 is also an independent variable. Okay, x2 is also independent variable. So what multiple linear regression is like? Here I am also again I am taking the example of salary. Okay, salary is equal to I have taken one type of variable called experience. Okay, plus another type of this x2 variable could be study. Okay, and this x1 could be let's take location. Okay, this x1 could be taken as a location. Okay, so here salary, this dependent variable, is decided with the help of these three independent variable. Okay, experience, what experience he is having, what study he has done, and where, in which location he is having. Okay, study means whether he is in graduate, whether he is postgraduate, whether he is high school pass. Location means whether he is residing in metropolitan city, whether he is residing in tier 2 city or tier 3 city. Okay, so with the help of this parameter, and when we are putting this value on this parameter, we are deciding this factor. Okay, salary one. Okay, and all the things are the same. Okay, there should be some constant value. Okay, and there should be some coefficient value must be there. Okay, so we will look further what is a constant and what is a coefficient. We will look further on in our next slide. So I think you all have understood what is the simple linear regression and what is multiple linear regression. I have to tell you that by comparing simple linear regression and multiple linear regression model, our multiple linear regression model is very good. Okay, because we are using very much too many number of variable. Okay, so this too many number of variable can decide this salary dependent variable. Okay, and the salary what we are getting in this multiple linear regression will be very much fit actually. Okay, and what we are getting in a simple linear regression model, it can be used, but it is not that perfect as much in multiple linear regression model. Okay, so if we take a comparison between simple linear regression model and multiple linear regression model, so multiple linear regression model is very good. Okay, so let's see an example of multiple simple linear regression. Okay, so this x-axis is what? This x-axis is the experience. Okay, this x-axis is the experience, and this experience is called independent variable. Okay, and this y-axis is called, y-axis is like salary, okay, and y is a dependent variable, okay. And the chart which has been made, the chart which has been made, this line which you have made, it is a model, it is a model which in which our model has been made, okay. So like we will use this OLS model, okay, we will use this simple linear regression model, OLS model, and our model is giving this type of answer, okay. Our model is predicting this graph, okay, our model is predicting this graph, okay. And what red plus line, what we are saying, what red plus, it is the observed answer, okay. What data set we are using, whatever data set we are using, the data set will come here, okay. This is a scattered plot, okay, this is scattered plot. And the slope which we are seeing here, okay, this slope line, it is a model which has been predicted by our tools actually, okay. And this red plus sign, what we are saying, it is a observed value, we can, you can say it is a observed value, okay. Okay, this is a observed value, okay. So when this slope is touching in this particular this y axis, it is called as a constant value, okay. This is called as a constant value, okay. And this you can see here, this in this x axis, here it is a one graph, 1 year, and here it is 10,000, okay. This is called a coefficient. I mean to say that if any employee is having a experience 0, then he is getting this salary, this constant salary, okay. Have, okay, see, this is the experience line, this is experience line in x-axis, with salary is increasing with with respect to this experience one, okay. When you are having this experience, you are getting this salary. When you are having this much of experience, then you are getting this salary. When you are having this experience, then you are getting this salary, okay. When you are getting this much of experience, then you are getting this salary, okay. But when your experience is 0, then what salary you will get? You will get this constant value, you will get this constant value actually, okay. And this constant value is nothing but when your slope is touching to this y axis, this is called the constant value, okay. See, now we will see this coefficient, meaning of this coefficient, okay. See here, coefficient means by 1 year how much salary has been increasing. You can see if any employee is having a experience of 1 year, then salary is increased by 10,000. You can see here, okay. So this is a coefficient one, okay. This is a coefficient one, okay. So whatever coefficient we are saying, we have seen in earlier slide, the meaning of coefficient is this only, okay. And meaning of constant is this, okay. Whenever experience is 0, we will see the constant value, okay. And whenever this particular this because I have taken example of salary and experience, so what I am saying, when any employee is having a 1 year of experience, then how much salary has been increasing? 10,000, okay. So this model is perfect one, this model is a perfect one, okay. Let's see, suppose suppose take an example, by 1 year of experience your salary has been increased by 80,000. So it can be possible in a hypothetical world, it can be possible or not, or in a real world it can be possible. No, an employee salary should be minimum one, okay. This employee salary should be minimum one, okay. You cannot increase your this salary by 1 of your experience, you cannot increase your salary to 80,000. If suppose in this example salary and experience in this suppose example, your salary is increasing by 80,000 by 1 year of experience, it means that your model is not fit. It means your model is not fit, okay. It is not a fit model, it is not a fit model. It means there is something error, there is something type of error is occurring, okay. Error is occurring here, okay. So because of this error your model is not fit, okay. So we will remove this error and we will see how error can be calculated, or how our model can be fit. it can be happen. Okay, we can see here. Okay, so here you can see y is a dependent variable, which is a salary. Okay, x1 is independent variable, which is this experience. b1 is a coefficient here. Okay, and b0 is a constant here. Okay, you can see what exactly simple linear regression model is. Okay, with the help of this graph, okay, so let's see what is ordinary least square. How you would know that your model is fit? Okay, how would you know that your model is fit? Okay, let's see here. uh, when we will do some calculation, suppose your model is came like this. Okay, and in another type of model, your graph is making like this. Okay, suppose this is a, this is b, this is c. So how would you predict that your model is fit? How would you predict that your model is fit? Okay, so for model prediction, see, this is the dot which I am putting here. The dot which I am putting here is a observed one. Okay, the data set which you are using. Okay, and in between this scattered dot, your b line has been marked, b slope has been marked. Okay, so b slope is in between this scattered point. Okay, and this a line is where? A line is actually above the scattered dot, and c is also below the scattered plot. Okay, so there is something error in between. Okay, so a is having some error and c is having some error. So our model should be like this. Okay, scattered plot should be there, and in between this scattered plot, the line must go in between this scattered dot. So whenever our slope or whenever our line mark in between this scattered dot, so we can say that our model is a fit one. Our model is a fit one. Okay, see, to get the best fit line, we have to find the difference between the observed value and the model one. Okay, observed value and model one. See here, uh, y-axis is our salary and x-axis is the experience. Okay, and here is a slope which we are getting, and this slope, when we are getting this slope, by using our model one. Okay, our model has predicted this slope. Our model has predicted this slope. Okay, and the red star line is the observed value. Actually, the red start line is the observed value. Okay, so see here, this this observed value, you can see here this particular observed value. Okay, so what here we are observing, by having 20 year of experience, any employee is having a 20 year of experience, employee is having a salary of rupees 1 lakh, but our model is predicting what? Our model is predicting here. Our model is predicting here. Or what our model is predicting? Our model is predicting, no, the employee salary must be 80,000 of rupees. So see, there is a something difference. There is a something difference between observed value and a model value. Okay, so this observed value we have marked yi, and this model value, okay, this predicted value we have marked as a yi cap. Okay, so we will do this difference. Okay, we will do this difference. Okay, difference between yi minus yi cap, and take the square of them, and then find the minimum, and that minimum is the best fit for the line, and which is called ordinary least square. Okay, I mean to say that here I have already explained you that some employee salary observed value is 1 lakh. Okay, and some employee salary, what it is predicting? It is predicting 80,000. Okay, okay, likewise here also happening, here is also happening. Okay, so observed value is something else and our predicted answer is something else. So we will difference all the observed and the model value, and we will do the square and we will sum it, and after finding it, we will find the minimum one. Okay, after doing this, we will find the minimum one, and the minimum one which we are getting, it is the best fit for the line, which is called the ordinary least square. Okay, so here let me go to the previous slide. Okay, see here. Okay, wait a minute now, just wait a minute. See here what I have explained in this previous slide. This coefficient is increasing. Okay, this coefficient is increasing. By 1 year of experience, your employee is getting 10,000 of rupees incremented salary. Okay, but you are not getting 80,000 of rupees. If you are getting this 80,000 of rupees salary in incrementation, then your model is very poor actually. Okay, so it should not be done. Okay, it should not be done. Okay, so we have to reduce this error. Okay, we have to reduce this error. Okay, and for reducing it, we use this ordinary least square model. Okay, we use this ordinary least square model. Okay, okay, I hope you have understood this ordinary least square model. See, this is a r squared. Okay, this is a r squared. This is another type of parameter by which we can use whether our model is fit or not. Okay, so this is a SSRES, which is called as a sum of square of residual, and this is a SS total, which is a sum of the square of the tool. Okay, so OLS is not sufficient for the multivariable actually. Okay, OLS is sufficient for the single variable, but for multivariable it is not sufficient. Okay, for multivariable it is not sufficient. Okay, for multivariable we used to take this average. Okay, because in multivariable we are having a lots of variable. Okay, so we cannot use this model. Okay, we cannot use this OLS. Okay, what OLS is observing, we cannot use this OLS model. Okay, so when we are having a lots of variable, then we used to take this average. Okay, we used to take this average, and in this average we used to take this difference between yi and y average. Okay, so r square is what? R square is equal to 1 minus ss residual and ss total. Okay, R square is what? Whatever answer we are getting here, SS residual, sum of square of residual and sum of square of total. When we are having a difference between 1 minus this one, we are getting this answer. Okay, R square value. Okay, so closer R square to 1, it is a better one, and closer R square to 0, it is a worse one. Okay, R square value, like r square value you are getting like 91 or 0.91. Okay, when your model is predicting something and r by statistics mean your answer is coming like r square is equal to 0.91, it means that your model is very good, your model is very better one. Okay, let's see if r square value is like 0.15. Okay, so it is approaching to 0 towards, it is approaching towards 0. So this model is worse one, we cannot use this model. Okay, we cannot use this model. Okay, so r square, the closer r square to 1 is a better one, and closer r square to 0, it is a worse one. Okay, now let us start part B. Now what is a Gretel? Okay, Gretel is an open source program which stands for GNU Regression, Econometrics and Time Series Library. Okay, it is a cross-platform software package for econometric analysis written in a C programming language. It has both a graphical user interface and a command line argument. Okay, it is both graphical user interface and a command line argument. Okay, so let's start our lab session here. Okay, let's start our lab session here. So for getting a software in Gretel, you just type Gretel. Okay, Gretel in this Google. So whatever first link you will come, just click on it. Okay, so this is a link for downloading the Gretel software. Okay, so here you are saying Gretel for Windows. Okay, click on this Gretel for Windows. Okay, so here you are saying 64-bit version, 32-bit version, whatever version you are having, you can download it. Okay, whether your system is having a 64-bit version or whether your system is having a 32-bit version, you can download it. Okay, You can download also depending on your operating system like Macintosh or your Linux operating system. Okay, you can download it. Okay, all the available tools depending on the operating system is available here, so you can download it. Okay, so because my system is having a Windows, so I have downloaded Windows version of this Gradle. So let's start our Gradle tool. Okay, so here it is a Gradle which I have already downloaded. Okay, so here I have put some data set actually. Okay, so let's see. Okay, see here. Okay, year of experience, salary. Okay, year of experience, salary. Okay, so this is a data set what I have taught you in this previous slide or previous example. This is a data set for that. Okay, year of experience, salary. Okay, so how much data set is having? We are having a 30 data set, and depending on this year of experience, salary has been deciding. Okay, so we will see whether our model is good or not, or we will do some regression analysis with the help of this variable. Okay, so let's put. Okay, so this is a menu part. Okay, this is a menu part. You can see here this is a menu part. Okay, by clicking on this file, by going to the open data, go to this user file. After going to the user file, wherever data you are having, okay, my data is in a desktop. In this desktop I am having this in Gradle folder, and in this Gradle folder simple linear regression model. Okay, so I will put in this all files, so we can use this type of model. Okay, we can use this data set. Okay, particularly I am using this CSV data type. Okay, common separated value. Okay, by clicking on this common separated value and by opening it, here you are getting some type of report. So by importing this data set, you are getting some type of message here, and this message has been given by this Gradle software. And what Gradle software is saying, you okay, your first field is what, year of experience, number of column is what, 2, number of variable is 2. Okay, and what type of variable name you are scanning, this one. Okay, year of experience and the salary one. Okay, so all the things has been shown here by this Gradle software, whatever parameter or whatever data set you are using. Okay, so here whatever data set we are getting, we are actually having in this dashboard. So here 0 is a constant, 1 is a year of experience, 2 is a variable. Okay, whatever variable we are getting, okay, whether it is dependent variable or whether it is independent variable, by serial order it is coming out here. Okay, so we will put some type of model here, we will do some type of regression here. Okay, so by going to this model and by clicking on this ordinary list square, this dialog box has been coming. Okay, this dialog box is incoming. Okay, so what is a dependent variable in our previous slide and what we have shown here? So we are putting this salary in this dependent variable. Okay, and we are putting this year of experience in this independent variable. So this independent variable is called regressor. This independent variable is called regressor. Okay, okay, so if you are having some type of experience, then you are getting some type of salary. Okay, so likewise you have to put. Okay, so by clicking on it, okay, you are getting some type of answer here. Okay, you are getting some type of observation here. Okay, see this observation, what you are getting, you are getting some type of observation. Okay, I'm showing you just a graph. See here what you are seeing, you are seeing some type of graph. Okay, this blue line is a predicted one, our model has predicted this blue line, and this red plus line is the observed value actually. Okay, whatever data set we are having, it is the observed value. Okay, see, this is our first data set. Okay, 36,215, this is our first data set. Okay, and here this particular point, this slope is meeting in this salary, this is a constant one. Okay, so what is a constant? This is a constant. Okay, this is a constant, 25,792.2, this is a constant. It means if employee is having a 0 year of experience, then he must get this salary 25,792.2. Okay, and this is the coefficient one, and this is the coefficient one. Okay, what coefficient means? If any employee is having a 1 year of experience, okay, year of experience he is having, okay, he's incremented by 1 year of experience, so his salary must increase by this one, okay, 9,449. Okay, have you understood? Okay, so this is the r squared value. You can see here, this is r squared value. R squared value is what? 0.9561. So r squared value is approaching to 1 actually. Okay, so our model is perfect one. Okay, our model is a perfect one. Okay, this is our model actually. This is our model. Okay, okay. So we can also forecast. We can also forecast whatever forecasting we can done. Okay, so let's see what our this model is forecasting. Okay, see here. Okay, so this is the salary, this is the salary. Okay, by whatever observed value you are having, this is salary, and this is a predicted answer. Okay, this is a prediction answer. Okay, this is a prediction answer. Okay, and the standard error is what? Whatever difference is between the salary and the prediction one, your answer will get here. Okay, your answer will get here. Okay, this is a prediction answer. Okay, and this is a graph, this is a graph of this is a graph of a 95% interval. Okay, or prediction we can say. It means you you can see here green line and this here green line. Okay, so what is the meaning of this green line? If this, if any observed value is in above, if any observed value is above this green line, it means that data is not perfect for our model actually. Okay, and if any data value or data set is below this green line, it also means the same. It means that our data set is not perfect one. Okay, so data set must be a perfect one. Okay, so it must be a perfect one. Okay, it should not be like that uh, data model, the observed value must come above this green line, or data model or the observed value must come this in this below line. Okay, it should not be like this. Okay, so that's why we do this 95% interval. Okay, so that's why we do this 95% of interval. Okay, so I hope you have understood the simple linear regression model. So I want to show you some slide here. See, you can see here this slide. Okay, you can see this here slide. It is actually a code of simple linear regression. It is a code of a simple linear regression. Okay, see how much chunk of code has been written. How much chunk of code has been written here? You can see here. It is hectic one now. It is hectic one. Because of this reason now, many of the data scientists or machine learning programmer use this Gradle technology. Because this is a just a drag and drop. Okay, just you put your data set, you do this model here. You can do any type of model here. Okay, you can do any type of model here. Even you can do this logistic model. Okay, this you can do this here logistic regression model. You can do any type of regression model, or you can analyze any type of thing. Okay, in between by using this Gradle model actually. Okay, okay, let's see another type of example. I want to show you one more slide. See here, suppose you want to predict this profit on the basis of this parameter. I think some of the user is having a mic on. I think please put off your mic. See here, you can see in this example you are predicting this profit on the basis of these four parameter. Okay, this four parameter. Okay, okay, so first parameter is what? R&D. Second parameter is what? Administration. Third parameter is what? Marketing spend. And the last one is what? State. Okay, so depending on this parameter, you are predicting this profit of any company. Okay, so y is what? Y is this profit. Okay, constant value can be anything. X1 is what? X1 is this R&D variable. X2 is what? This administration. X3 is what? Marketing spend. Okay, whatever marketing is done. But what about this variable? What about this variable, or what about this parameter? This parameter is not a numerical value. Okay, this parameter is a categorical type of value. We are using categorical type of value. Okay, so we cannot use this categorical value for predicting our answer profit. So we will reconfigure this categorical value to b4 d4, and we will make this as a dummy variable. Okay, and like in dummy variable, we are putting New York is equal to 1 and California is equal to 0. Okay, so whenever categorical type of variable will come, so you have to define this categorical variable to this dummy variable, and you must have to be defined. You have to define this categorical variable to like this. Okay, so actually we are having only two states, New York and California, in this data set. So I am defining here New York is equal to 1 and California equal to 0. Okay, whenever 1 will come, it will automatically state that it is a New York, and whenever 0 will come, it will automatically state it is a California. Okay, if some more categorical value will be there, you can define like 1, 2, 3 or anything like that. Okay, you can define it. Okay, so whenever categorical type of variable will come, you must have to be define this dummy variable, and in dummy variable also you have to define this number. Okay, so in this example, I have defined New York is equal to 1 and California is equal to 0. Okay, and this is example of a multivariable. Okay, this is an example of a multivariable. Okay, so earlier I have shown you an example of a linear regression with only having a single independent variable, but now I will show you linear regression model with the help of this multiple variable. Okay, this with the help of this multiple linear regression. Okay, so let's go again to our Gretel. Okay, so 1 minute, I'm closing it now. I'm closing it. Just wait a minute. Okay. Go to file, go to open, and go to user, and wherever your data has been kept, go to that place. Okay, my data has been kept in desktop in Gretel folder, and in Gretel folder I am having a folder called a multiple linear model. So by putting this to all file, you can use this file. Okay, so again I am using this CSV file. Okay, okay, see here. Okay, so all the statistics has been coming. What is statistic it is showing? Number of column is 5, number of variable is 5. Okay, and here you can see one type of thing, scanning for row labels and data variable for state, non-numerical value it is coming. Okay, see, you can see how smart Gretel is. It is automatically stating that one of our column is a non-numerical type of value. Okay, you don't have to find out, you don't have to search any type of column is a non-numerical value or any type of column is numerical value. You don't have to find it. Okay, whatever data set you are having, you can just import it, and Gretel will automatically put this statistic in your dashboard. Okay, so whatever column is having a non-numerical type of value. Okay, so here you can see this state is a non-numerical type of value. It means it is a categorical type of value. Okay, so this this information will come when you will use it, when we will use Gretel. Okay, see how smart it is. You know, let's do some regression model by going to this ordinary list square. Okay, so I am putting this profit to the dependent variable. Okay, so because of this R&D, administration and marketing spend, we are getting this profit. Okay, we are getting this profit. Okay, but before moving to this model, I want to make this state to the numerical value. Okay, because our state is a non-numerical value, it is in its categorical value, and we have already seen in our slide that you have to put your categorical value to the numerical value. Okay, so for putting this, we will go to this add. Okay, we will go to this dummy for a discrete variable. Okay, and you will click on this encode all values, and by going to, you can click on this OK. See, something is happen in this state. Okay, something is happen in this state. Okay, See here. Automatically it has decided that New York will be defined as a state one, and New York, California will be decided as a state two. Okay. And when we are displaying this, see how smart Gretel is. Whatever data you are having, it is putting New York as a 1 and California as a 0, whatever data set you are putting. Okay, how smart it is. See, you don't have to edit it, or you don't have to put some code here. Okay, Gretel is actually smart software. Okay, it can do automatically. Okay, so it is a smart software. Okay, so again, we are actually we are not defining d state 1, d state 1 or d state 2. Okay, we will do some we will edit some attribute here. Okay, so we are actually defining this, we are copying this New York and we are pasting here. Okay, we are pasting here actually. Okay, this New York. Okay, so what first New York state is d state 1. Okay, but I want that New York should be state of New York only. Okay, so that's why I have renamed this d state 1 to New York 1. Okay, by clicking it apply, you can apply it, and by clicking on this arrow, you can go to this another state, d state 2, and again you are renaming it, and again you are renaming it, and you are putting this renaming order to California. Okay, and by this. Okay, okay, so it's a perfect one. Okay, see here, our categorical value is what? New York and California. Okay, our state is what? Previous state is what? D state 1 or D state 2, but our state, we have renamed it New York and California. Why I have renamed it? Because when you are having a lots of categorical type of variable, then you will make a confused one. Okay, so because of that, you can rename this D state 1, D state 2 by giving any type of another variable name. Okay, and I am here I have given this state 1 as a New York and this state 1 as a California one. Okay, so let's do some regression model. Go to model, go to ordinary least square, put this profit into the dependent variable, and put all the independent variable in the regression model. Okay, R&D in the regression, administration in the regression, marketing spend in the regression. We will not put state, but we will put this California, New York in a regression, and California in a regression model. Okay, so by clicking on OK, you are getting some statistics. Okay, you are getting some type of statistics. Okay, so this is a model 1 OLS. Okay, this is a model 1 OLS, and here in this model 1 OLS, what you are getting constant like 50410. Okay, it means if a company is not investing in R&D, zero investment is there. Administration is having a zero administration, 0 rupees, zero investment. Marketing spend is zero, and we are not having any type of a state. Although company will get this much of profit, this much of profit. The meaning of constant is like this. Okay, and coefficient is what? If anything is happening, then it must be increase, then it must get this much of profit. Okay, this much of profit you are getting. Okay, this much of profit it must get. Okay, so this is the coefficient one. Okay, this is a coefficient one. Okay, so here you can see R square value. R square value is 0.951013. So again, what we have learned, if our number is going towards one value, it means our model is very much good. Okay, our model is good and our data set is good. Okay, so here in this model, we will learn about the p value. Okay, we will learn about this p value. Okay, in this p value, you can see R&D spend is been marked by 3 star, and another type of variable is having a 0 mark, or you can say it is having a much more greater number than the R&D number. Okay, so R&D number is what? 7.33 into 10 to the power of minus 22. It means that profit is having a some type of relationship in between R&D. Our model is showing that profit is having some type of relationship in between R&D. It means that if a company spend more and more in R&D, your profit will increase that much. Okay, it means that, okay, you can again here you can see administration here, you can see here administration, your administration is having a much more value, 0.6509. It means by putting some investment in administration or not putting some investment in administration, your profit is not affecting. Your profit is affecting on this independent variable which is called R&D spend. Okay, so this star means what? This star means our dependent variable profit is having a something much more relationship in between this R&D. Okay, so star means that only. Okay, so we can see here graph. Okay, let's see actual fitted graph. See, here it is a graph of our model. Here it is a graph of our model. Okay, you can see here. Okay, you can see here. Okay, you can see here. Okay, this is our graph. This blue line is our predicted one, and this red line, that this red mark is our observed one. Okay, see, so this is a model one. Okay, so when we are using this multiple variable now, here you are having a statistics, and in statistics we have already seen R&D is the most important variable for defining this profit. Okay, so what it is not important? This administration is not important. So you can remove this administration from our regression model. Okay, so in this regression model administration variable is already present, but in this statistic, in this observation, you can see here administration is having a very much high p value, and we have already seen, we have already learned, greater the p value means this variable, particular this variable or this independent variable is not actually having a relationship between this profit one. Okay, so you can remove this administration one. Okay, so our conclusion is what here? Greater the p value, it means you can remove that independent variable from your regression model. Okay, so we will do another type of modeling here. Let's go to this model, this ordinary least square. Put this profit here. Okay, and remove this administration from our regression model. Okay, so here profit in this dependent variable we have put the profit. Okay, whatever profit company is making, and in the regressor we have put out this marketing sorry, this administration variable. Okay, we have put out this administration. Okay, so let's see what our model is predicting. See here. Okay, so this is a model 2, and this is a model 1. Okay, so you can see wait a minute, just wait a minute now. I am putting my answer here. Okay, just look on this statistics what you are getting. See, there is a difference in between the profit one. Okay, here we are getting this profit 405,516, and here you are getting profit 47721. Okay, and here you can see R&D has become much more lower value, and marketing spend has been got lower one. Okay, it has been reduced. Here marketing spend is 0.1209. It means it is very much higher value. But when we have removed this administrator variable from our model, so our p value in this particular, this R&D now I am talking about, this R&D is again reduced. See here what R&D is getting, 7.33 10 to the power of minus 22 है ना, and here what we are getting 2.18 10 to the power of minus 23. It means our value is again reduced. Okay, our model is our value is again reduced. And another thing is that here marketing spend value is 0.1209, and our New York value is 0.62229. Okay, so here what we are getting, marketing value is been reduced. It has been reduced very much now, and New York value is also reduced. Before, in this model one, New York p value is 0.6229, and here you can see New York value is 0.5775. Okay, so by comparing these two file, we can predict that our model 2 is very much good, because here R&D is very much is having very much low value, and marketing spend is having very much low value, and New York is having a very much low value here. Okay, so you can predict that you can use this model 2 value apart from this model 1. Okay, so you can do this type of comparison by removing all the parameter or removing particular parameter from your regression model. Okay, so you can see here, this is a model, this is a graph of our model 2. Okay, and this is a graph for our model 1. Okay, this is a graph of our model 1. Okay, so in this model 1 I have to show you one more thing. Okay, we will plot graph on the basis of this administration. Okay, see here. Okay, you can see here, when we are getting when we are putting when we are making, sorry, when we are making graph on the basis of marketing one now, see here, all the lines are being scattered, all the answers or the observed one or the predicted one or the scattered one. Okay, you cannot make line here, you cannot make line here, you cannot make line here. Okay, you can your answer, your line is not making like a slope one. Okay, you can make line here, you can make line here also, you can make line here or anywhere else. So this is not our model. Okay, because of this administration now, our model is not fit actually. So because of this reason now, we have used this model 2. Actually, we have used this model 2, and how we have used this model 2? By removing this administration. Okay, so you can analyze your model with the help of this graph also. Okay, by using this graph also you can analyze. Okay, so this is a multilinear regression model, and before that I have explained you linear regression model. So one more thing I have to show you, that data visualization part. Okay, so for data visualization part, I will be using this Tabula software. Okay, so this Tabula software is very good for data science and for machine learner. Okay, for machine learning and for anyone who are using neural network or deep learning. Okay, I think it's taking too much time. Okay, it's started. Okay, so Tabula is a very much good software. Okay, so you can download Tabula from a Google. Okay, so you have to use Tabula public now. You have to use Tabula public, not the prime one. Okay, not the premium one. Tabula public is a free version, and another type of version is also coming. So that is a paid version. Okay, so for public version you can use this Tabula public. Okay, it is a free version. Okay, so I want to show you one more thing by okay, so here we are using this data set. Okay, for salary experience. Okay, by clicking on the salary data, by opening it, it will take some more time now for putting your data set into our model. Okay, so here we are getting our data set. Okay, by going to this worksheet, here we are getting this dashboard. Okay, you are getting this dashboard. Okay, so I am putting this salary in this column, and this experience one to this row actually. Okay, so here it is the experience one, here it is a salary. Okay, so I have put some wrong suggestion. I have put some wrong. So one more thing, one more minute now. Let put year of experience here in column and the salary in this row. Okay, so yes, it's a perfect one. Okay, yes, it's a perfect one. Okay, so year of experience here in this in this x-axis, and salary it is in a x-axis. Okay, so by going to this column, when you're going to this dimension, okay, so this graph is coming out, And when you're going to this row in salary, when you are clicking on this dimension, you are getting this. Okay, so here it is your visualization actually. Okay, you can visualize here also in tabula. Okay, you can visualize here also. Okay, so here what we are saying, this yellow, sorry, this blue marking is a observed value. Okay, this is observed value. Okay, by having a this much of experience, your salary has been increased. Okay, all the employees having this type of parameter. Okay, so you can analysis also, you can do some type of analysis by putting this trend line. See, by when I have put in this trend line, some type of pop-up is came, and you can do this type of trend line. Okay, by going to this linear, you are getting this linear regression. Okay, when you are putting this trend line to the logarithmic, then you will get this logarithmic type of version. Okay, so when you are going to this exponential one, so you will get this exponential one. Okay, when you are going to this polynomial one, then you will get this polynomial trend. When you're going to the power one, then of course you will get this power line. Okay, so you can do this type of trending line. Okay, you can do this type of trending line. Okay, so I hope you all have understood. uh, so I think I have taught you very much about Gretel simple linear regression model and with data visualization. Okay, so thank you so much. If you have any query, you can ask me. If you have any type of
Hello.
query, you can ask.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, what is the significance of F test in a linear model?
F dash.
Yes, F test in a linear model.
F test is a parameter through which we can analyze that our model is perfect or not. It is another type of parameter actually. Okay, like R
Okay.
square or like ordinary least square. Okay, so it's like that only. Okay, likewise we use chi square value also, chi square parameter also we use. So that's the thing. We can use other different type of parameter to use uh, perfect or not, whether our model is fit or not. Okay, so I think
Okay.
you have got your answer, ma'am.
So
Yes, sir.
actually, I have a question. So actually, how
uh,
can we know that that which model is suitable for our conditions, and how we can get this?
okay, uh, for a model fitting you have to do lots of regression actually. Okay, so what I have taught you in earlier version, that when you are having a multiple variable, okay, so you have to analyze all the parameter with the all the parameter. Okay, and if any parameter is having different uh, means you can say that p value is higher, then you can remove that parameter. Okay, so by using that you can use that parameter, sorry, you can use that your model is fit or not. And another thing is also you have to categorize it. Okay, whether your dependent variable is a categorical type or whether your dependent variable is a continuous type. So depending on that, you have to use that regression model. Okay, so in this session I have taught only simple linear regression model. I have not taught you all the logistic regression model. If I have a data set of logistic regression, sorry, if I have a data set of a categorical type na, so that moment I can use logistic regression model. Okay, so I think you have got your answer, sir.
Thank you, sir. Actually, thank you for the tabula
Yes,
model. Actually, I
yes,
learned a lot from this, sir.
yes,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Yes, sir. Anyone else?
Thank you very much, sir, sharing
Thank you
your
so much, sir.
knowledge and material with us.
Yes, sir.
Great lab session you have done. You have nicely explained the regression model, its tool, greater data visualization in Tabula, and you have also explained how to implement it. Thank you very much, Manish sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Sony sir. Thank you, all the colleagues. Thank you, Aarti ma'am. Thank you, Amit sir. Thank you, Nitish sir. And thank you, all the participants, for listening my session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
For all the participants, our next session will be start day 3 session 8. The timing is 1:30 p.m. So come before 5 minutes. Thank you very much.